Okay. Yes.
Good? Ready, steady?
Perfect. Great.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Eva and I work in the European Recruitment and Exchanges team. We are based at Merkeston in E15, so if you've got any questions after the presentation or you need to speak with us, we're available there. My presentation is going to be quite basic. I'm going to tell you about exchanges, how they work, why you should go, where you should go, when you should go, etc. And I'll be happy to take any questions at the end. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What is an exchange? I gather that everyone here, well, apart from a few people, has an exchange as a compulsory part of the degree. Okay, so just to let you know, an exchange is a study period undertaken at one of our partner institutions, but it can also be a traineeship, which is, in other words, a work placement. So if anyone is interested in doing something like that, there are opportunities to do it, for example, over the summer period. And if you do it in Europe, we work with our work placement officers and they can help you source funding to do that as well through the European Union. So that's something that you can bear in mind when planning your summer holidays. It's a period of 1 semester or a full academic year. Normally, it's entirely up to you and your program leader how long you go for. It depends on what the demand is. If there is a lot of students wanting to go and study at the same partner institution, we then advise them to go just for 1 semester. But sometimes it's also good to consider going somewhere else for the full year. It is credit bearing. Again, that's something you probably know because it will be a part of your degree. So you won't need to study for an extra year or 1 semester longer. All the marks that you get abroad are then converted into Edinburgh Napier credits and you proceed as normal. And then finally, it is not just for language students. Every now and again, I get to speak with students who constantly think that they need to be able to speak French to study in France, German to study in Germany, etc. Wherever you go, you'll be taught in English. And now, why you should go on exchange? Well, there is a million of reasons why you should do it, but one of them is to experience a new culture. Going on exchange is so much more than just going on holidays. You get to live like a local, you immerse yourself in the local culture, and your perception, the way you think, it all changes. So it's hugely beneficial. You get to see the world, and I like to think about exchanges as a combination of taking a gap year and the comfort of progressing towards a recognized academic qualification. So you get to see the world, you travel, especially students who go to Europe, they tend to buy a train ticket and just travel from one country to another. So somebody who goes to Budapest ends up in Amsterdam, you know. It's that easy and fairly cheap when you're a student. You get to meet new friends as well, which is fantastic, and I can see it already on Facebook. Those of your fellow students who are currently on exchange, they're having a fantastic time meeting people from all around the world. And it's all great, but you need to remember that those people that you meet abroad, they will form a network of your friends. So in the future, if you want to look for a job abroad, they can help you. And then it adds an international dimension to your degree. You'll be amazed how the same subject can be taught completely differently in a different country. And then you come back and you're able to think outside the box. You've got more ideas because you've experienced how it is to study the same subject area somewhere else. And then last but not least, I don't know how many of you are thinking about it, but it will definitely enhance your CV. And Edinburgh Napier is really big on employability. We want to make sure that whatever you study here is not detached from the reality. And if you think about how many skills are involved in going abroad, because you expose yourself to the unknown, you don't know what to expect. Very often you need to liaise with lots of different people, so you're a bit out of your comfort zone. And then if you are able to transfer it into the, well, I wanted to say, write it down in your CV. Probably there's not enough space to write it all down. But when you apply for jobs, if you go for an interview, then you've got so many things to talk about, so many examples to give. And I've got a little video for you. It was prepared by NUS, National Union of Students, and you'll hear, I hope you'll be able to hear, students from different Scottish universities talking about their exchange and whether it made them more employable. So have a listen.
Absolutely. Yes, I do, definitely.
Yes, I think it's made me more employable. When I went for interviews, a lot of employers asked about times when you've had challenges or when you've had to accommodate to new situations, or when you find yourself quite alone.
Not many nurses travel abroad, and especially in the climate just now that there's not many jobs available, and I think it really helps to stand out, and especially that few interviews I've been to already, they're very interested in my travel abroad and what I can bring to it.
Obviously, employers are scrutinizing people a lot more closely. You really need things to make you stand out. Showing that you went away, adapted to a completely new way of learning and thrived in a completely different environment really shows them that you are adaptable, that you are motivated, you can just completely adjust to a completely new way of operating, basically. It also shows that you've got a better understanding of a wider range of people. If you lived your whole life in Scotland and only ever interacted with Scottish people and you're entering an international corporation, that's going to hold you back. But having studied abroad, meeting all these new people, you definitely improve your communication skills.
At the moment, I'm looking for my jobs for graduating, and that's something I've put on my CV. Up there, one of the first things they'll see is that I went abroad. I do think it's really going to help in terms of me showing that I can be independent, I can go and work initiative, I can do my own thing. I think it's a great thing that employers will look for.
It puts you away from the crowd, stands out, it shows that you're not scared of facing a challenge, you're okay to be out of your comfort zone, and you're independent, it shows that you can rely on yourself, you can use your initiative. I really improved my problem solving skills when I was away. You only have yourself, you have to figure things out, it's not easy. Showing that to an employer, it definitely sticks with them.
It's definitely made me kind of a niche candidate for certain jobs.
Actually, I got a job probably because of my year abroad just now.
Once you finish, you feel like, yes, you did this, you survived. You can do that. What else is there to do? What's next?
Something I didn't mention before when I was talking about enhancing your CV. We work with careers advisors, and before you go abroad, we deliver workshops to make you aware what kind of skills you'll be developing, how you can record them, and then when you get back, there's another set of workshops when you learn how to transfer it into the language of employers. So that's something to bear in mind, that you'll be able to benefit from that as well. Okie doke, let's move on. Where can you go on exchange? We've got two types of exchanges, the European ones, and they are through the Erasmus Plus program, and also we've got the ones overseas. I'll start with the European ones. For your subject area, we've got 3 links established at the moment, one in Denmark and the other 2 in Germany. The first one is quite popular, I would say. There's quite a few students at the moment in Copenhagen, and we are able to offer this opportunity to 2 students going for 1 year. The way it works, when we say 2 students for 1 year, that also means that we can send 4 students for 1 semester, okay? Because 1 year is obviously 2 semesters. Then we've got a link in Stuttgart, and again, 4 students can go for the full year and study in Stuttgart. And finally, there's another link with the University of Applied Sciences in Gothenburg. That's for 2 students for 1 year.
Is Valencia still, I know that last year Gabrielle went to Valencia. Was that like outside of Erasmus Plus?
No, it wasn't. It was within Erasmus, but I'm not sure. I thought that AM wanted to call that agreement.
Okay, so I have to check with you. It's just because that was one of the questions. Keeps changing, we'll investigate a little bit more, because someone's asked a question about what about Valencia. Valencia, is it possible to say?
Yeah, I think the problem with Valencia was that there were not, I think there was a problem with modules, and I think it's okay if you go for one semester, but if you want to go for longer, there might be a problem. I know that Gabriela was taking something like dance classes to make up for her ECT.
Right.
So if somebody is interested in Valencia, then maybe it's worth speaking with Ian Smith about it.
It's hard to remember, I suppose.
And as I mentioned before, classes are available in English, so you don't need to worry about not being able to speak Danish or German. However, it's good to pick up a local language, and I'm sure that once you're there, you will learn at least a few phrases. One more thing I didn't say. Some of you may have heard about Erasmus program from this year. It's called Erasmus Plus. It's supposed to be bigger, better, all that. We are yet to find out whether it's bigger and better. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. And these are our partner institutions overseas. So the ones at the top in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada are subject specific. So if you're interested in studying in Melbourne, Auckland, or Toronto, we've got places reserved for you. And again, for Melbourne, we've got 2 places for 1 semester. For Auckland, only 1 person can go for 1 semester, so I presume it's going to be very competitive. And finally, Ryerson, 2 places for 1 semester. There's also a few other universities, such as Central Washington University, Drexel University, San Jose, and Queensland University, where we've got a university-wide agreement. And what it means is that the agreement between us and those universities include all the subject areas. So if you're interested in studying at one of them, you would need to go to their website and investigate whether they offer modules that would be suitable for you. With these ones at the top, we can guarantee, because John has visited some of them, 2 of them, I believe. With the other ones, you need to investigate it a little bit further. And finally, we've got also ISEP program. ISEP stands for International Students Exchange Program. This is an organization, an American one, that allows us to send you guys to the USA. They form a network of over 130 universities, and their application process is slightly different. These ones, we call them direct partner institutions. ISEP is another form of going on exchange. There is no better or worse. They are just slightly different, and I'll talk about it in a second. When can you go on exchange? Well, most of you in your 3rd year. Students typically go in their 2nd or in their 3rd year, but please remember that you need to apply well in advance. The deadline to submit your application is the 20th of December, regardless of whether you want to study abroad in semester 1, semester 2, whether you want to go for the full year. It's the 20th of December, and we'll be quite strict this year. However, no, as I'm saying it, I think for you it's compulsory, so it should be quite straightforward. It's just that last year we received so many late applications and we wanted to accommodate all requests, and it was just a bit messy. How does it look in practice? Okay, let's go back to Erasmus Plus. If you study through Erasmus Plus, you're eligible for a grant from the European Union, and it's something automatic. You don't need to apply for it. If you study in Europe, you get money. It's as simple as that. And we've got 2 kind of bands. You can either be getting 400 euros per month, and that's if you study in Denmark. We've got links in Denmark and in Germany. So if you study in Denmark, it's up to 400 euros per month. If you study in Germany, it's 350 euros per month. If you can demonstrate that your household income is below £25,000, then you may also be eligible for a widening participation grant, and that's additional 100 euros per month. Okay, so overall you could be getting approximately 500 euros per month. In terms of studying overseas, and by the way, I'll make this presentation available so John can upload it onto Moodle and you can refer back to it. This is just to give you a rough idea what kind of costs you should expect. Studying overseas is inevitably more expensive. Ryanair doesn't fly there, you know, and you need to apply for a visa. Most of you will need to do that. The difference between ISEP and direct partner institutions is that when you apply through ISEP, you pay a set amount of money, which is at the moment £2,750 per semester, and that includes your accommodation and your meals. So you get fed. Apparently, you get fed really well. If you decide to study through one of our direct partner institutions, it's more like organizing the exchange on your own. So you get to choose where you want to live, what you want to eat, etc., etc. When you study in Europe, you are covered by the university insurance. You can purchase additional insurance if you want, but there's no need to do that because you are automatically covered. If you study overseas, most universities require you to purchase their insurance. So that's an additional cost. But you don't pay any tuition fees to your host institution. And when you think about how much students pay in America, in Australia, or Canada, I would say it's a really good deal. You continue to pay your tuition fees as normal. So what it means is that if SAS is covering your tuition fees, you just need to inform SAS that you're going on exchange, and they'll most probably continue to pay your tuition fees. I say most probably just because I don't know how it's going to be in the future. To date, it has been like that. Obviously, you're not paying your rent, you're not paying for your living costs here, and if you plan ahead, you've got plenty of time to save up. And this is a very quick slide with a bit of PR. This is our little team. So as you can see, there isn't that many people involved in working on exchanges. One of my colleagues who joined us a bit later, it's not that I don't like her and I didn't include her in the photo. She joined us a bit later. She does recruitment in Europe. But Helen, my manager, then me, Sławek is also student-facing. And then we've got Sarah, who works with academics and with external partners. So she's trying to make sure that we've got lots of links available for you guys. Oh, I nearly forgot. That's because we don't have her photo yet. We also have Amy in our team. And Amy is one of the students who studied abroad last year. She went to Germany. And if you want to get advice from somebody who's been there, done that, Amy is the person to contact. Okay, and this is our web address. If you want to read a little bit more about exchanges, there's our email address, studyabroad@napier.ac.uk. We are quite quick with responding to queries, so feel free to use that. And we've got drop-in sessions, so if you want to meet one of us and chat on a one-to-one basis, we are available every Monday between 2 and 4 at Craig Lockhart in the Glass office. Or if you want to see us here at Merkiston, it's on Wednesdays between 2 and 4 in the Student Hub. There's no need to book a slot or anything like that. You just come along and we'll be available to talk to you. And I've got a very quick video from one of our students who went on an exchange through ISEP. So. That's it from me. I'm happy to take any questions you might have. I invited a few students studying creative computing, and I think somebody creative computing.
On trains available, I'm just trying to find a way that we can connect with them. So
oh, right, okay.
He's at home, so I'm just seeing if I can use him.
Is he Skyping?
Yeah, I think it's like something like that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's from Germany, and he's currently on an exchange here. And he's in his 4th year, and somehow he's managed to combine things in such a way that he gets a degree from his home university
And from us.
and from this one. So how can I do that, possibly?
It's very tricky. I think it's that friend studying at the business school by any chance.
Yes.
In some cases, we've got agreements for double degree. It's a double degree agreement. To you guys, I'm afraid it won't be available at this stage. But sometimes, if two universities reach an agreement and say, okay, one student can study here for, say, 2 years, and then in another place for 2 years, that person will graduate with 2 degrees. But unfortunately, we haven't got anything like that.
So it's probably about setting it up yourself, speaking to both institutions.
Yeah, it is very well. I suppose you could approach somebody from your host institution and find out what their requirements would be. But in terms of an official setup, if you like, I don't think it would be possible at our end to guarantee something like that. It's quite unique. I think there is only a handful of programs that can offer something like that. And it's much more popular at the postgraduate level. For undergrads, I'm afraid there isn't much.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yep. I know that the semesters in New Zealand are like March to November.
Uh-huh.
How does that work with going into
March till November?
Yeah, is there semester 1 not like March till something, and then there's semester 2 like finishes in November?
I'm not entirely sure. I know maybe John would be able to
Yeah, we'll
comment.
have to have a look. But there are some, I mean, a lot of the international places, the same with the ones in Stuttgart, the timetables don't necessarily align with our start and end dates.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just have to look carefully at, where would be the best time to align them.
What I wanted to say, I know that in Australia there is one of our students came up with that. We didn't explore that option before. But they use trimesters as well, like we do here. And I know that a few people in the past started their semester 1 straight after finishing semester 2. So they went abroad in June, and I think they did a few months, so they did their semester 1 over there. Then they took, during our winter time, when it's summer in Australia, they took their holidays, so they started traveling and having lots of fun, and they finished their semester 2 when we were finishing our semester 2, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they had a break kind of when it was summer in Australia, which I think it worked really well for them.
I had a quick question about the arrangements for SAS domiciled students and traveling through ISEP. Can they then get some, SAS is going to help support them for flights? Is that how it would work? Do you know much
Yeah,
about that?
it's available to Scots domiciled students